Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your boss humiliates you in a meeting. A friend betrays your trust. Your heart races, your jaw tightens, you feel it rising. Anger. Most people give in to it without a second thought. But over 2,000 years ago, a Roman emperor who commanded the most powerful army on earth wrote something in his private journal that no one was ever supposed to read. He wrote, "How much more harmful are the consequences of anger than the circumstances that arouse them." His name was Marcus Aurelius, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly how the Stoics conquered anger and how you can use the same method starting today. Section 1. Why anger feels justified. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people won't tell you. Anger always feels justified in the moment. Always. When someone wrongs you, your brain isn't experiencing rage. It's experiencing justice. It feels like the right response. Like you'd be weak not to react. The Stoics understood this trap better than anyone. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic writers, spent an entire book on anger. He called it the most hideous and frenzied of all the emotions. Not because anger is immoral, but because it is useless. Think about the last time you lost your temper. Did it solve the problem, or did it create 3 new ones? Seneca wrote, "Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured." You are the vessel. Every time you give in to anger, you are not punishing the person who wronged you. You are punishing yourself. You are handing them control over your mind, and they don't even have to be in the room. Section 2. The Stoic Framework, the pause. So how did the Stoics actually deal with anger? Not suppress it, not ignore it, but neutralize it. The answer is one of the most powerful concepts in all of Stoic philosophy. They called it the pause. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Between what happens to you and how you respond, there is a gap, a fraction of a second. The Stoics trained themselves to live in that gap. Here's how it works in practice. When something triggers your anger, your first job is not to respond. Your first job is to observe. Treat your anger like a scientist studying a specimen. Get curious about it instead of consumed by it. Ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Is this within my control? The Stoics divided all of life into 2 categories. Things within your control and things outside of it. Your thoughts, your actions, your choices within your control. Other people's behavior, traffic, the weather, your boss's bad mood, outside of it. Most of the things that make us angry are outside our control. Someone else's words, someone else's actions. And here's the Stoic punchline. You cannot be harmed by something outside your control, unless you allow it. 2. What story am I telling myself? Epictetus, a former slave who became one of history's greatest philosophers, taught that we are not disturbed by events, but by our judgments about events. The car that cut you off, you decided it was disrespect. Maybe the driver's wife is in labor. Maybe they didn't see you. The event was neutral. Your story made it personal. 3. Will this matter in 5 years? Marcus Aurelius used to zoom out. He would think about the vastness of time, the brevity of human life, and ask whether this moment of rage would echo through history. Almost never. Almost nothing does. That perspective doesn't make problems disappear, but it makes them the right size. Section 3. Training the mind. Now here's where most people stop. They hear these ideas, they think that makes sense, and then the next morning someone sends a passive-aggressive email and they lose it completely. That's because understanding Stoicism and practicing Stoicism are 2 entirely different things. The Stoics treated philosophy like a sport. You didn't just read about it, you trained. Marcus Aurelius started every morning with what modern psychologists would call a negative visualization. He would imagine everything that could go wrong that day. Not to be pessimistic, but to be prepared. He wrote, "Begin the morning by saying to thyself, I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, unsocial." Sounds dark. But here's the genius. When those people actually showed up in his day, he wasn't surprised. He wasn't caught off guard. His anger had no foothold, because he had already anticipated and accepted the moment. You can do this. Every morning, before you leave the house, spend 60 seconds asking, where today might I be tested? Who might frustrate me? How will I respond? You are not predicting disaster. You are building the muscle of the pause before you need it. The second practice, end-of-day review. Each evening, Seneca would review his day with ruthless honesty, not to punish himself, but to learn. Where did he react instead of respond? Where did he lose the gap? No journal required. 60 seconds of honest reflection before sleep. That's it. Closing. The real goal. The Stoics were not trying to become robots. They were not trying to feel nothing. Marcus Aurelius grieved. Seneca feared death. Epictetus suffered. The goal was never to eliminate emotion. The goal was to stop letting emotion make your decisions for you. Anger is information. It tells you something matters. That's useful. But when anger becomes the driver, when it starts choosing your words, your actions, your responses, it stops serving you. It starts destroying you. The Stoic secret isn't a trick. It's a practice. It's the daily deliberate choice to live in the gap between stimulus and response. And every time you choose the pause over the reaction, you get a little freer. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, in words he never meant for the world to read. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your anger is the obstacle. The obstacle is the way. Outro. If this video gave you something to think about, subscribe to Stoic Mind. Every week, we bring you one lesson from the ancient Stoics, distilled, practical, and built for real life. And if you want to go deeper, watch our next video on the dichotomy of control. It's the single most important concept in Stoic philosophy. Link is on screen now. I'll see you there.